Throughout history, men have always been drawn to grass. Whether it be in the park, a sports ground, or simply in your own garden, there's just something about those quintessential British stripes that makes you want them for yourself, not to mention getting one over on your neighbours. Follow Daniel on his lawn journeys in his step-by-step videos this year whilst you create your own lawn journey, achieving that dream lawn you have always wanted with simple and easy to follow methods. The lawn you have always dreamed of is only a grass seed away. Now sit back and enjoy the video. Oh, and one more thing, if you want to subscribe, you know what to do.
So we're back at this job 6 days after seeding. Another problem, not with anything serious, but the beech tree is dropping all its little flowers. So what I'm going to do today is show you how I fleece this off a roll. So you can see, because we've been watering it, then it's rained, the sand has soaked up all the moisture and is no longer sticking to the foot. So you can stand on it now. Got no tips coming through yet, but it'll come. So what I'm going to do is, because it's wet, if it was bone dry and still like an egg timer sand, that kind of like bone dry and it was blowing about, I wouldn't be able to blow it. But because it's wet, this will just blow right off. I've already done it this week and hope that it would have started coming through by now, but it's not. So I'm going to sheet it, and then all this stuff, all this detritus will fall on top of the fleece. And not only that, it'll encourage faster germination. I should have done it from the start really, but I thought I'd get away with it, but I didn't. So, oh, look at that. A worm cast, but one in isolation is not bad considering there used to be 10,000 on here. Like this area was really bad, but you can see by putting the fleece underneath before we put the root zone down, I'll just show you what we did with that. You can see that it's solved a massive problem, because this by now would be absolutely riddled with worm casts, because they come out twice a year, this time of year. Especially when you just put new medium down, they seem to love coming up for that and taking that back down. And in the September time they come out as well and start taking down leaves and things like that. So we've avoided that on this particular lawn. Okay, so we've got all those off, or majority of them off. A few can stay on because some of them have been like, not stood in, but they're just watered in, so they won't come up. But that's good for now. So what I'm going to do now is just dry it out because it's in the sun. So I'll get some water on it, and then we'll, so that means it's already watered before we put the fleece down, because it's easier to do that way. And then we're just topping up rather than trying to get the water through the fleece, because when it's new it does take a few days to get through. But so we'll do that, and then we'll get the fleece on. I'll show you how to do it. So I've just had a little dig through the top dressing that we put down last week and just found one of the seeds. You can see it's got a nice little root on. So that will mean that should be coming up in the next few days. And once we sheet it, that heat will really get trapped in there, and with the moisture, that'll be up in no time. So you can just see it on the right hand side there. I'm not the best cameraman in the world, but any fortune tellers out there, if you want to predict my future, feel free. Right, okay, so I've just watered and it's released some of these flowers that have fallen off the trees. I've just given it another blow. And what I'll do is, as I do these sheets, I'll blow as I go. So we've got our fleece on a roll. Now, find your straightest edge and run off that, and then you get a nice running joint then, because if you do it at an angle, you'll end up making a mess, I think. So what I like to do is find the straight edge. I'm going to use this edge, and I'm going to get it up against here like this. Always choose a windy day to do this. I do, for some reason. It's just written in the stars. So lay it out. You need these staples. I got them from Tool Station. 25mm by 120mm. 44242 is the code if you wanted some. Because we've got a nice new lawn, there's plenty of room to drive some of these in with no problem, but because I'll be starting in the gravel, it's going to be quite tricky, so just bear with me. I think this is the first time I've ever fleeced live on it, so it's quite tricky on your own because you've got that wind blowing it under. So you just stick one in. Remember not to stick any in this side yet, because we're going to run our sheet over that on the next one, so we don't want to anchor that down and then have to lift the pegs up to then put some more in. So we'll just get it nice and tight to the ground, run it out like that, and just stick another one in here like that. Stick one in over here just as a temporary one, and then when I start my next line I can lift that one out and then put pegs in over 2 rows of fleece, anchoring 2 down, if that makes sense. So you can see now the wind's getting it. So what I'll do is I will just stick another one under like that for now, and then I've got plenty, so just get in the majority down, and then you can have a look after and assess where the wind's blowing it up, and then just stick another one in, and then carry on and just keep doing that. So we've got that one down. Let's move the camera and then we'll carry on. So when you're racing against the clock, not so much the clock but the leaves falling down, we can leave our cuts till after. What we'll just do a straight line across, get it in the ground. I'll just stick a temporary one in there. You'll notice I've not put any on there yet because I'm going to cut this now. I'll go and get my scissors. And then what I could do, as I might, because Keith's got a staple gun, and what I might do is staple the fleece to the actual wooden edge, because I don't think you'd see it if you did it like right on the inside edge. So we've done that now. Stick one in here, start that blowing away. I'll find a bit of concrete there or something, could do with a hammer. So that'll do for now. And we'll just pull that back. And we'll start our next line like that. Lift that one out. And then stick it in like that. They are going to overlap slightly, but that's better than underlapping. Like not being having gaps there. Stick that in. And then you can walk on the soil, that's no problem. Just keep that one nice and tight. What I'll do is I'll stick one in there as well. Like being a carpet fitter, which I am not. So I say it's always on a windy day that this happens, especially when you're laying what you might know as mypex or ground membrane. When you're putting gravel down, that is a pain because the wind just blows under it and you just end up like a sail in the wind. So you can see where this is going. I'll just get a few in my hand and then you can just kick it out and roll it across. And the weight of this one almost keeps this one down, so you can just stick a peg in. Don't worry about that edge yet because it's all about this edge, keeping that nice and tight and uniform, because you don't want to start going off at an angle. And then I get to the end and I can just lift that one I put in before and put it in permanently, and just stick one in this edge as well. Don't be afraid to. I've knelt, I should say, on the lawn there. No problem. Stick 2 in there, and that's how we fleece. And then what I'll do is I'll just show you what I do. I'll just cut that, leaving it over the flag, because what I can do is if I need to, I can just stick a brick on there or something, and it just gives me a bit for it to anchor it down, because I can't go into the flag for obvious reasons. Move that away. And this is basically just to stop the flowers falling on the lawn. This is all it's for really, because as I've just shown you before, the seeds germinated really, so that'll be up in no time. In hindsight, yeah, I should have done this last week, but I just didn't foresee all those. Even though the trees have been there ever since I've been here, I should have foreseen that they were all going to fall, but I thought I'd get away with it, but I've been found out. So I'll just go down here, cut me one here with a nice sharp scissors from the lovely man who I bought them off here last year, like that. And then what I'll do is, because it's a bit heavier in flowers here, I'll just have another blow and then I'll give it a sheet then. Alright, so that's a job well done. Nice and flat, nice and uniform. Bit raggedy around the edges, but who's looking? A little bit over there, which is just a little bit exposed, but it's not worth putting a piece of membrane down for that. So all we need to do is water that. Now, like I say, it does bead off at first, but if you just stand over it and really go to town on it, it will soak through. And because it's already wet underneath, we don't need to worry about disturbing anything underneath. So that is how you legally fleece your customers. So take care, and I'll see you next time, hopefully when we're cracking on with this garden, or this part of the garden. So hopefully we'll get it scarified. We're just waiting for the lawns we dug out along that edge where they're putting some flags. I'll just have a walk over with you. It's not looking too bad. There's some holes where I've missed to put the soil back in when we're doing the weed grasses. Like I said, I think last time I had to put some moss control on, which has a greening up effect and a growing effect as well. All this damage from leather jackets and disease and where I've dug out, and but it's not looking great, but we'll sort it. That will be leather jacket damage there. Yeah, we'll look a million miles away from where we need to be, but I often say, customers will say, why are you not doing it now? Let's get it done now, and it'll get done quickly. Well, you'll get to the same point in time if you do it in March, or if you do it now, you'll still get to the full lawn at the end of May because the temperatures are there now. So the hotter it gets, the more likely the seed is going to germinate quicker and grow quicker and get to that finished point quicker. So if we'd have done this 4 or 5 weeks ago, with the drought we've had and the cold, we'd still be waiting for it to come through. Whereas we do it in the next week, it'll be up straight away and we'll get to that same point in time. So I know it looks a mess, and it is, don't get me wrong, but it's not as bad as it was, and I know that we'll sort it out. So let's see you next time. See you soon, bye.